Okay, guys, here we go with the Unit 2 study guide. All right, number 1 is F. If 4m plus n equals 7 and n equals 3, then 4m plus 3 equals 7. Okay, so F is technically substitution, but we're going to jump down here to number 5, which is transitive. So F and I, if AB equals C and C equals D squared, then A plus B equals D squared. Okay, so if you guys get these mixed up, transitive and substitution, I'm going to give you the credit for it. Just know that they're very, very similar. All right. Yeah. Anyway, that's a bit tricky. But if you were to do I here and F here, you're still going to get the credit. Right here, we look from left to right. So A equals -5. And then we have 2A equals 10. All right. Well, what we did here is we went ahead and multiplied it, right? This is technically -10, but we multiplied both sides by 2. So multiplication property. Here we have 3x equals y, and then y equals 3x. It flip-flopped. So that's our symmetric property, H. And then here, if 4w minus 1 equals 11, then 4w equals 12. Well, we added 1 to both sides, so the addition property, A. And here, 6y equals 6y, G, which is your reflexive property. And 7, if -8q equals 56, then q equals 7. Well, we simply divided from both sides. All right, so division property, D. And if 5k equals -25, then 5k minus 1 equals -25 minus 1. Well, we subtracted from both sides. So B. And then here you can see we distributed that -3. So E. Okay, so right here, if A is the midpoint of CM, so that means that CA and AM are congruent, then find the lengths of AM. So we know that CA, this bit right here, is equal to 2x minus 3, and that CM, the whole segment, is equal to 5x minus 11. All right, but we know this is the midpoint, right? So we know if this is 2x minus 3, then this is 2x minus 3 as well, right? Because these two pieces are equal, whoops, based on the midpoint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these together. I'm going to get 4x minus 3 and set it equal to 5x minus 11. I'm going to subtract some things and add some things. I'm going to subtract 4x, and I'm going to add 11, and I'm going to get 8 equals x. So I have 8 equals x, and it's asking to find the length of AM. Well, AM's right here, so to find AM, I'm going to go ahead and do 2 times 8, right? Insert that x, and then minus 3. So 16 minus 3, and I will get AM equals 13. All right, next up, I'm going to use a couple different colors here. Maybe that will help. In the following diagram, C is the midpoint of AE. So that means this segment right here and this segment right here, they're congruent, okay? It also says that B is the midpoint of AC. So these two pieces are congruent. If AE, our whole segment, equals 28, and CD, this little guy right here, equals 3, and AB equals 7, find the values below. All right, well, BC would also be equal to 7, right? Which means this whole thing would be equal to 14, which means this would be equal to 14, right? Because that's the midpoint. So we found some of our things. We found AC. We know that that's equal to 14. And now we can figure out what DE is, because we know this whole segment is 14. So to find DE, we're going to take 14 minus 3, and we're going to get 11. Okay, next up, R, S, and T are collinear. S is between R and T. So here is R and T, and here is S. RS equals 2W plus 1, and ST equals W minus 1, and RT, the whole segment, equals 18. So we're going to use segment addition. We're going to solve for W and then solve for RS. I'm going to add these together. So I'm going to get 3W equals 18, right? Because plus 1 and minus 1, they would cancel out. And I'll get W equals 6. Now I need to find RS. So I'm going to do RS equals 2 times 6 plus 1. I'm going to get 12 plus 1, and RS equals 3. Moving right along here. We had this exact question on our last study guide unit, but it was really confusing. So went ahead and put it back in. These two angles are congruent because KN bisects this angle JKL. All right, these are opposite rays, which means this is 180 degrees, a straight line. Okay. If JKN, this angle right here, equals 8x minus 13, and NKL equals 6s plus 11, find x and the measure of angle JKN. Okay, well, we know that these are congruent, so we're going to set them equal. 8x minus 13 equals 6x plus 11. I'm going to get 2x equals 24, and x equals 12. So x equals 12, and now I need to solve for JKN. I'm going to do 8 times 12 minus 13. 8 times 12 is 96, minus 13. Measure of angle JKN is going to be equal to 83 degrees. Okay, so suppose JKL, and we're still using this information from up here, equals 9y plus 15. So JKL, this whole thing, I'll go ahead and use a different color here, equals 9y plus 15. And JKN, this little guy right here, equals 5y plus 2. Find the measure of JKL. Oh, find y and the measure of JKL. So, JKL is this big angle, 9y plus 15, and JKN is this guy right here, 5y plus 2. Remember, these two are congruent. So what we're going to do is we're going to double this angle because these two are the same. So I'm going to do 2 times 5y plus 2, and I'm going to set it equal to the whole angle, 9y plus 15. I'm going to have 10y plus 4 equals 9y plus 15, and I'll end up with y equals 11. All right, because I subtracted 9y and I subtracted 4. Okay, so we know that y equals 11. And now we're going to find the measure of angle JKL. All right, JKL. So I'm going to take 9, multiply it by 11, and add 15. 99 plus 15 is going to give me, would be 114. Hopefully my mental math wasn't wrong there. Okay, next up, JKN, which is this angle here, I'll use purple this time, is equal to 3x plus 30. And LKM, this angle over here, is equal to 2x. Find NKL? Well, we know that this is also 3x plus 30. Remember, these two angles are congruent. We know that these three angles, they are opposite rays, right? So they equal 180. So we're going to do 2 times 3x plus 30 plus 2x equals 180. Oops, it'd be helpful if you could see. So 6x plus 60 plus 2x equals 180. And we're going to get 8x plus 60 equals 180. Oops, I don't know why I wrote 128. But we're going to subtract 60, and we're going to get 8x equals 120. And when we divide by 8, we get x equals 15. So remember, we need to solve for y. Sorry, not x, y. I don't know why I have all these x's, but y equals 15. And I'm going to plug it into NKL. So NKL is 3 times y plus 30. So 45, 3 times 15 plus 30 is going to give me the measure of angle NKL equals 75 degrees. Okay, right here we've got vertical angles which are congruent, but we have an x and a y, so we can't solve those, set them equal, because we can't solve them at the same time. But what we can do is we can see, hey, this is a straight line which sums to 180. So I'm going to add these two together. I'm going to get 24x, 25 and 9, plus 10 equals 180. I'm going to get 24x equals 170. And I'm going to have to subtract on my calculator really quick. So 170 divided by 24. Ooh, that does not work out pretty. 170. Oh, sorry. That's a 34. I'm like, why is that not working? Divided by 34 equals 5. So x equals 5. And now we're going to solve for y. So we're going to plug in our x, and we're going to get 45 plus 2, which is 47. And we're going to set it equal to 7y plus 5. 7y equals 42, y equals 6. All right, go ahead and turn the page. And angle 1 and 2 are supplementary angles, meaning they add to 180. So if angle 1 is 4x and angle 2 is 8x, we are going to set them equal to 180 to solve for x. Excuse me. And then solve for each angle. So 12x equals 180, and 180 divided by 12 is going to be 15. So x is going to be equal to 15. Now, we're just going to do for angle 1, it's going to be 4 times 15, which will be equal to 60 degrees. And eight times 15, which will be equal to 120. So we'll have 60 plus 120, and that does equal 180. Okay, this time complementary angles, so they're going to sum to 90 degrees. So x plus 24 plus x equals 90. 2x plus 24 equals 90. I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides. 24, sorry, so 2x equals 66, right? Minus 20 would be 70, minus 4, yep, okay, and x equals 33. So then find the measures of the angles. So for number or for angle 3, we're going to do 33 plus 24, which is going to give us 57 degrees. And then for angle 4, it's simply x, so we're going to just do 33 degrees. Okay, two lines intersect, right? So they make a cross, or an X. And if the two adjacent angles, meaning they share a common side, are 4x and 5x minus 27, then what is the measure of those angles? Well, together, those angles right there, they form a straight line. So we're going to add them together. We're going to get 9x minus 27 equals 180. We're going to get 9x equals 207. And we're going to get x equals something with a 3. Ah, sorry. I typed my calculator wrong. 207 divided by 9 equals 23. So, we are going to go ahead and for this angle right here, we're going to do 4 times 23. And we're going to get 92. And we're going to get 5 times 23 minus 27. Which equals 88. Okay, so angles 1 and 2 are vertical angles, meaning directly across from each other. So let's work left to right. So we're going to say 16x minus 9 over here, and we're going to say 4x plus 3. Vertical angles, so they're directly across from each other and they're congruent. We're going to set them equal. So 16x minus 9 equals 4x plus 3. We're going to move things around. We're going to have 12x equals 12, right? And x equals 1. So for angle 1, we're going to do 16 times 1 minus 9, which will give us 7 degrees. And for angle 2, wait, what? And then for this next one, we're going to do 4 times 1 plus 3, which will also give us 7 degrees. Tiny little angles. All right, L and P, they're a linear pair. So angle L equals 4x, and angle P equals 5x minus 27. Together they form a straight line, right, guys? So together it's 180 degrees. We're going to combine them, 9x minus 27, and set it equal to 180. So we're going to add 27 and add 27. Hopefully this is looking familiar to you guys from the question above. 9x equals 207 and x equals 23. Okay, so we're going to plug them in like we did up here. And we're going to get 4 times 23. Whoops. Be helpful if you could see. Push my drink up. And we're going to get 92. And we're going to get 5 times 23 minus 27, 33. All right, a little review from last unit. Turn the page. Linear pair again. I think we just did this question. Nope. Okay. All right, so they're going to equal 180. And it's going to be 18x minus 1 and 23x plus 17. All right, I'm going to just go ahead and combine like terms right now while I go. So 18x plus 23 is going to give me 41x. And then plus 16, because a positive 7 and a negative 1. And I'll get 180. So I'm going to have 41x equals 139. And then I'll divide by 41, but I feel like I might have made a mistake here, because I'm getting a decimal. Because when I divide, I get x equals 3.39. But let me just make sure I did that correctly.